Crying about?
Sorry.
What are you crying about?
My feelings were hurt.
How are your feelings hurt?
Just weird.
Should I feel sorry for her?
I don't expect you to.
Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us. You guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across this to share something for you, and I thought to share where Elliott decided that she was going to educate her delusional, painkillers people. We all know that whenever Elliott speaks, she shakes the table, and this time she did it again. A long-time anti-racist educator and activist, famous for her blue eye, brown eyes experiment, said something that made a lot of people, especially painkiller people, to pause and think. In her latest talk, she reminded everyone that every human being on this planet Earth, no matter the race or color of his skin, came from a black woman. And as controversial as that may sound to some, it's not just an opinion. It's backed by science, history, and deep truth. The thing is that I was able to put up some stitches, and every other I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts, and let's dive into it.
Now, people, you are all members of the same race, the human race, which started with black women between 300,000. White folks, you don't like it, but all you are is faded blacks. That's the way it is. Every one of you, if you trace your DNA back far enough, you're going to find that some of your DNA came from Africa, because we all have the same ancestor back there, every single one of us. And those of you who think you don't have are obviously from outer space. Now, that means that every one of us is a 30th to 50th cousin to every other person in this room. So I want you to turn to the person on your left or your right or behind or in front of you, stick out your hand and say, "Hi, cousin." Now, will every person in this room who considers himself or herself a biracial person stand? Don't you stand. Don't you stand. People, we have to get rid of the language of racism. Words are important, people. Words matter. You have to be careful how you use them, and you have to refuse to tolerate these ugly words being used in your presence.
Me yelling? This is yelling! Have I done that yet?
Okay, you're using a stern voice. And
Are you defining me?
No, I am not defining you.
Is she defining me? Does she say I'm yelling when I'm not?
Yes.
Perception is everything. Yelling? This! Do you hear me yelling? This is yelling! Have I done that yet?
Okay, you're using a stern voice. And
Are you defining me?
No, I am not defining you.
Is she defining me? Does she say I'm yelling when I'm not?
Yes.
Perception is everything. Do you feel like I'm yelling at you?
Yes.
Yes, why?
Because you're using a stern voice.
Stern? Honey, it isn't my fault you're stupid.
Would you like me to go get my paper and pencil?
I wouldn't like you in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, then that's fine.
Let's get that understood here.
Okay.
This isn't a matter of whether I like you or not. Repeat after me. One hen.
One hand.
One hen, two, not hand, hen. 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 Lays eggs. One hen.
One hen.
One hen, two ducks.
One hen, two ducks.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four limerick oysters.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Hemerick oysters.
Hemerick oysters?
I'm sorry.
Limerick oysters.
Limerick oysters.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four limerick oysters, five corpulent porpoises. You can remember everything, honey.
No,
this isn't hard for you. Go for it.
One hen, two ducks, three squawking geese, four Limerick oysters, five, I forget the other one.
Do you wish you had a paper and pencil?
No.
Do you think you're going to need one if I keep testing you on that?
Yes.
Then are you going to wish you had a paper and pencil?
Yes.
Yes. So in the future, what are you going to do when you go to a learning situation?
Bring a paper and pencil.
And keep it with
Me.
you. Did you learn anything?
Yes.
Do you appreciate what you just learned?
Yes.
Did you like the way it was taught?
No.
No. Any of the rest of you ever taught in that fashion?
Yeah.
Yes. And did you have to express appreciation for it? Yeah. Did you learn something from her example? What are you crying about?
Sorry.
What are you crying about?
My feelings were hurt.
How are your feelings hurt?
Just were.
Should I feel sorry for her?
I don't expect you to.
Should I feel sorry for her? Some of you are thinking, oh, this is too harsh for this young woman. James Byrd, black man in Texas, dragged to death behind a pickup truck by 3 white males. Matthew Shepard, young man about you're a little younger than you are, had the misfortune to be born gay, beaten with a pistol about the head until they cracked his skull. And then they hung him on a deer fence and left him there overnight. And somebody coming along on a bicycle the next day saw a bunch of clothing hanging on this deer fence, and they went over and started to take the clothing off the deer fence and found a body in the clothing. Now, I'm sorry, but those things happen because we live in a society in which people are allowed to treat those who are different in an ugly way because of their differentness. I cannot shed tears for a young white female in this exercise who knows that this is an exercise, who knows that it's temporary, who knows that she's getting a college credit, 1 hour of credit for being here. I'm sorry. I have to save my sympathy and my empathy for those who go through something much worse than this every day of their lives.
Tears were coming in my eyes, and when I saw these people crying, I'm like, but it wasn't for them, it was for the fact that I know people who are going through that right now while we were sitting in that classroom and had the privilege and the time, the opportunity to be going through an experiment, that there are people outside who go through that 10 times worse than any student of color in that room.
Do you hear me yelling? This is yelling! Have I done that yet?
Okay, you're using a stern voice. And
Are
it's making me angry.
you defining me?
No, I am not defining
Is she
you.
defining me? Does she say I'm yelling when I'm not? Perception is everything. Do you feel like I'm yelling at you?
Yes.
Yes, why?
Because you're using a stern.
White women, come to the front. I seem to have upset some of you. On my backup page, I have been talking about white women and how they understand their privilege. And there were some white women that were upset. So make sure you have your journal and a pen or pencil and get ready to write some feelings down as I take you down memory lane. I'm pretty sure you guys know this case pretty well, right? Carolyn Bryan, in 1955, she accused 14-year-old Emmett Till, and we all know what happened to him. And in 2007, she admitted that she lied. She didn't get arrested for that lie, but she admitted it. I'm sure some of you guys are familiar with this case, Susan Smith, 1994. She did that to her kids by letting her car roll into a lake. The cover-up, she told police a black man carjacked her at gunpoint and drove away with the children. The fallout, a massive manhunt terrorizing black neighborhoods. Innocent men were profiled and questioned until her lie collapsed. She's serving life in prison now. 2005, Jennifer Wilbanks. The crime, Wilbanks faked her own abduction days before her wedding. The cover-up, she claimed she had been kidnapped and assaulted by a Hispanic man and a white woman. The fallout, national panic, huge police search, and racialized fear. She later admitted she fled because of wedding jitters. Wedding jitters. Amanda Knox, 2007. This was in Italy, but it's still important. The crime, Knox's roommate Meredith was unalive. The cover-up, Knox initially pointed suspicion at Patrick Lumumba, a black Congolese bar owner in Perugia. I hope I'm saying that right. The fallout, Lumumba was jailed for 2 weeks, lost his business, and was only released when a witness proved his alibi. The real unaliver was later convicted. Ashley Todd, 2008. She was a campaign volunteer for John McCain's presidential run. Scratched a backwards B into her own cheek. The cover-up, she claimed a tall black man mugged her and carved the B after seeing her McCain bumper sticker. The fallout, national media ran with the story until her confession. It was exposed as a hoax to stir racial tensions during the election. 2009, Bonnie Sweden. The crime, Sweden staged her own disappearance with her 9-year-old daughter. The cover-up, she called 911 claiming she and her child had been kidnapped by 2 black men driving a Cadillac. The fallout, police launched a massive manhunt. Hours later, she was found safe at Disney World, having stolen money from her employer. 2010, Bethany Storrow. The crime, Bethany poured acid on her own face. The cover-up, she claimed a black woman walked up and threw acid at her, saying, "Hey, pretty girl, do you want to be pretty?" The fallout, black women in her city were terrified of being profiled. Police later confirmed she did it to herself. 2016, Nikki Jovino. a white college student had consensual with 2 black football players. The cover-up, she later claimed that they had her reportedly to protect her reputation. The fallout, the men lost scholarships, reputations, and opportunities. She was later convicted of falsely reporting. Another one in 2016, Sherry Papini. The crime, Papini staged her own disappearance, staying with an ex-boyfriend. The cover-up, she claimed that she had been abducted and tortured by 2 Latino women. The fallout, for years, Latino women in Northern California were viewed with suspicion. The FBI eventually exposed her hoax. She was sentenced in 2022. Now this one is crazy, right? Officer Sherry Hall, 2016. The crime, a white police officer shot herself. The cover-up, she claimed a black man ambushed and shot her during patrol. The fallout, her life set off a manhunt in black neighborhoods until investigators uncovered the truth. She was convicted and sent to prison. This was a whole police officer doing this shit. 2017, Brianna. The crime, a teenager staged her own disappearance. The cover-up, she claimed 3 black men in ski masks kidnapped and did that to her. The fallout, black men in her town lived under suspicion until police exposed her hoax. She was sentenced to probation, community service, and restitution. Aww. That's all she gets for lying on black men. And for those who are thinking, oh my God, Mia, those are old cases. 2025, Angela, a 20-year-old white woman fabricated and kidnapping allegations against a stranger she said seemed creepy. The man she accused was black. He was arrested and sat in jail for 31 days before she confessed the whole story was false. She pleaded guilty to filing false reports, tampering with evidence, and obstruction. She was sentenced to serve 45 days to 23 months in jail, pay restitution, undergo probation, and a complete mental health evaluation. She did that because she thought the man was creepy. Y'all can pause and read. And pause and read this one. White women using their race and perceived victimhood against black people or people of color is not new. The historical narrative of white women needing protection has been used to justify violence against black people and people of color for decades. Scholars argue that the modern day practice continues a legacy of white people, particularly women, acting as extra-legal patrollers. They exude and weaponize the power of law enforcement by calling police on black people for mundane activities, like taking a walk with their dog, or trying to get into their building, or telling them where they can park, or telling them to move out of an aisle, for sleeping. Because when you're black, you're never really lonely. There's always a white person all up in your business. The only power that white women have in this country that the white men allow them to have is to try to control the minorities. Patrol us. Tell us what to do. You guys like to punch down instead of working together to stop this toxic patriarchal white supremacy bullshit. Now, before you get into my comment section acting a fool, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. So for those white women that were angry that I was out here showing white women's privilege, here you go. One of the most dangerous things for black people in this country is white women's tears. I said what the hell I said. Now go write your feelings down in your journal, how this video made you feel, and go research the cases I put into this video, okay? Before you go into my comment section. But that's the reason why I'm talking about white women and their privilege. It's dangerous for the rest of us when you guys lie on us. And that's just a fact. Remember, diversity equal power. We can change the world when we work together and protect black women. Until next time, white women, come to...
Color has nothing to do with it. The treatment does, and the attitude does. But color has nothing to do
You're
with
an exception
love.
to the rule. Everyone does not have the exact same attitude that you have.
But in America, we are the melting pot of the world. And we should be able to be tolerant. And you should dislike me because I'm white, and I should dislike you because of your color.
Now, wait a minute, people. What do you mean by melting pot? That we put everybody together and mix them all up and they all come out the same so that white folks feel comfortable with them? So that blue-eyed folks feel comfortable with them? We don't need a melting pot in this country, folks. We need a salad bowl. In a salad bowl, you put in the different things. You want the vegetables, the tomatoes, the lettuce, the cucumbers, the onions, the green peppers, to maintain their identity. You appreciate differences. A melting pot does not appreciate differences, and this country ought to be about appreciating differences. That female wants us to be the same.
What do you base the fact that blue-eyed people are less intelligent or lazy?
They haven't been on the earth as long as brown-eyed people have, and that's a fact. Yeah. The first scientists at the University of Southern California traced the DNA molecule back. Now, look at this boy. He wants to talk. Is he being a good listener? No. These people know the listening skills? No. And if they know the listening skills, why aren't they practicing them? Saying.
We can see where this is going.
University of Southern California. Sit down and listen. Trace the DNA molecule. Trace traced the DNA molecule back using computers 2 or 3 years ago, and in order to find out where the first modern human being evolved on this earth. And what they found was that the first modern human being who evolved on this earth was a black female. And in every one of your genes runs the memory of that first black female. People of color have been on the earth longer than white people have. That's a fact. You need to be aware of that. You need to be aware, folks. You need to be aware that it was blue-eyed people in Germany. It was blue-eyed people in Germany who oversaw the killing of 10 million human beings. And one of the ways you went into the gas chamber in Germany was eye color. If you had brown eyes and a good German name, they threw you into the gas chamber because they said you might be trying to pass. You were a Jewish person trying to pass. I didn't invent this. Adolf Hitler did. And there are people in this country today, neo-Nazis, the Aryan nation, who are now absolutely trying to do the same thing again. And unless you are aware of it, it will happen again. We have 59,000 excess deaths among the black population of this country per year now. Now, if we had that great a number of excess deaths among the white population, we would do something about it.
What did you want to say?
We can see where this is going. She's saying that everybody has racism in them. It's not really about the eye. She's trying to teach about racism. But she can't get away from the fact that God created the races, and you are going to be different. You can't help it. God created races, and he didn't want the races to be like that.
God created one race, the human race, and human beings created racism. Now, I want to know if several people in this group are very, very angry. Yes. They're angry after an hour of being denied what they consider their right.
This man said yes.
But those very people who are that angry over an hour of very minor discomfort in a place they volunteered to be are the same people who would say they don't understand LA and the anger. Why are you black people angry? And you are this angry, you blue-eyed people are this angry over an hour of discomfort. Now that should tell you something, but I don't think it has.
So then
yet.
what is the question?
You don't like people making broad generalizations about you and assumptions about you without knowing you? That doesn't make you comfortable to have people making broad generalizations and assumptions about you without knowing you as an individual?
It makes me very uncomfortable.
It makes you very uncomfortable? Anybody else in this room ever had that kind of discomfort on a daily basis?
I have always wanted to look for a speech by this woman in the course of me actually diving in some historical fact about race, human, and race and how it came to be. The thing is that Elliott has been saying this for years, but people still get uncomfortable hearing it. What she's referring to is the concept of, the Eve gene, right? According to genetic science, all living things, all human beings, even as today, can trace their maternal lineage back to Africa. Every race, every ethnicity, every culture, right? They all descend from the same roots, even though some people still do not want to believe that. So when Jane Elliott says every other race came from a black woman, she's not exaggerating. She's reminding the world of something science already confirmed. The black woman is the mother of humanity. But what makes her message powerful isn't just the science, it's the way she confronts how people react to that truth. She points out how, social glorify European features, lighter skin, and straight hair, yet the origin blueprint of humanity was dark-skinned, colored hair, and deep African. The irony is that the very people whose ancestors created civilization, culture, and humankind itself are often one most disrespected in the modern world. Jane Elliott actually just not talk about race, she also talked about conditioning. She calls out the system that teaches people to see whiteness as superior and blackness as something to be ashamed of. And when she reminds audience that you wouldn't even be here if it's not for a black woman, she's breaking that mental chain. She's forcing people to rethink that they've been taught about race, beauty, and worth. What also interesting is how people react differently when she says it. Some get defensive, others inspired, but for black people, especially, black women, it hits deep. Because for centuries, the black woman's role as an origin of life has been erased, ignored, or downplayed. Instead, she's been stereotyped, exploited, and silenced. But Jane Elliott saying this out loud as a white woman using her platform to affirm that truth is radical, and that's exactly why so many people respect her. She's not just acknowledging history, she's giving credit where it's due. This statement can, connect to a large conversation happening today about how the world views Africa and its people. For too long, the continent has been portrayed as poor or primitive, when in reality, it's birthright of humanity, language, science, and civilization. Jane Elliott still remind people that blackness isn't something to escape; it's the origin of everything, and that's the part that scares some people. Because if you accept that truth, you have to confront the lies that built racism in the first place. You have to face how much of human history was rewritten to make European the center and Africa the margin. So when Jane Elliott says every other race came from a black woman, it's not just a fact. It's a wake-up call. It's a reminder to honor where we all come from and who saves, or who gave us life. Black women actually deserve to be seen not just as strong but as sacred because they are the origin or the original mothers of the earth. Whether you agree with her or not, one thing for sure, Jen Elliott isn't afraid to make people uncomfortable if the leads need to be truth. That's one thing about her that I really appreciate, you know, even though some people are still uncomfortable with the say truth. And to the second stage, I actually put up here about a sister talking about how some group of white pink colored people were just after her, all because she decided to share her truth, and they are so uncomfortable anytime that black people wanted to like share something that always like to preserve history. So many people are often, out to talk about how black people need to move on. How do you want them to move on when history keep repeating itself? Anyway, lovelies, wanna just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. Also, in today's video, it's actually a historical fact. Like, share, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one. Share, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.